We're live. Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. It's me down in the corner over here. It's me down in the corner. All right. Let me get organized. Let me get my thoughts straight. I got to find something. Oh, I do have a. Let's start with a. Oh. Welcome aboard. Come one, come all. I have a news article. Where is it? Bear with me. I had a busy night. Bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, there it is. Where is it? Is this it? Yes. All right. I got to email this to myself. This is show prep happening after the show already started. Forgive me. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world. All right. And where is it? Drafts. There it is. And there. Here. Yeah. You guys are good. I love you guys. I love this crew because I know I say this all the time, but there's going to be a day when this one's all filled up, when this not filled up, but when this group, when people find Bible every morning, when people will find Bible every morning, when people start finding Sovereign Artsakh, because I'll be speaking publicly and meeting more people more often and just saying it. I don't. Hi, Mom. Oh, Mom's over here. I'm not at that point in my speaking engagements or private conversations where I'm all right, here's the website, or here's the YouTube address, or here's the this, and make sure you follow on this. And because people do ask me your social media, and I am not, this is my social media. Putting up content on YouTube is it. I don't Instagram, I don't Facebook, I don't Snapchat, and that's old. I don't TikTok. I don't. I will, or we, the team will, when the funding comes and we have a full-time social media guy. I don't, but I do this, and this is important. This is essential. Bible every morning, my spiritual food, and this important connection for people to understand or to keep up on Armenia. So this group, this circle of people that are in this room are the OGs. You guys know it, but it is going to grow over the weekend. I'll be telling you more about my weekend here in a minute, but I met a few young people, young men, young college-aged men that were very eager to hang out and follow me around, and they were asking about my social media, and I mentioned to them, Christian Podcast Central for Bible Every Morning, and then Sovereign Artsakh. And they'll probably be showing up at some point or not, but it's going to happen. So enjoy this while it lasts. These numbers where you can actually see each other's comments and they don't scroll past too fast because everybody's commenting because there's too many people in here. Enjoy it. Enjoy this. I don't like calling it a small group, even though numerically it's small. This is the big group, right? You guys are the real deal, the prayer team, the prayer warriors that have been hanging on every word and wanting things to happen more quickly, just as I do. But all indicators are it's right around the corner. And Discord. That's right. I should be telling these guys Discord. Thank you, Lucas. When I have an assistant that's paid full time that can remind me of these things, and it'll be much easier. Okay, enough of this vamping and wasting time. Let me just read this article. Let's let's change this. I'm just going to read this, and then I'll do some updating. So Daniel did send this to me, and I haven't read it. I glanced over it, but Armenia's defense ministry acknowledges Azerbaijani attack on Nazak. No, sorry, it's Natsak village after series of recent border incidents. Let me read that. Armenia's defense minister acknowledges Azerbaijani attack on Natsak village after series of recent border incidents. Yeah, there's a bunch of lying going on. Because this village is so close to the Azerbaijani border, it's susceptible. Let me just read it. Let me read it. Look, these are what I was going to say, and it'll probably, if I may be repeating something that's in the article, but the Azerbaijanis are like, we're not shooting at anyone. We're just firing off our guns into the air, right? The military or the people, the soldiers stationed over there, whatever. And the Armenians are like, actually, and look, you have 2 bullet holes. If this is randomly firing your gun in the air, wow, that's miraculous, right? That's miraculous. I'm telling you, you don't randomly fire a gun in the air and it comes down in a window. It just doesn't happen. And much less 2 windows, right? You have to be aiming for this to happen. All right, let me read. In the latest border incident in Armenia, the Defense Ministry of Armenia has accused Azerbaijani forces of opening fire on the village of Natsak in Armenia's Syunik province. I think this is southeastern region. According to the statement, the attack occurred on March 31st at approximately 12:50 a.m. and resulted in damage to a residential house. Fortunately, no casualties were reported. The Armenian Minister of Defense has firmly rejected Azerbaijan's counterclaims, which allege the Armenian forces had previously fired on Azerbaijani positions along the eastern and southeastern borders between March 3rd and 31st. According to the Armenian side, these allegations do not reflect reality. Yeah, I mean, what is it? You get accused of something, all you do is lie, right? That's what it is, right? In response to ongoing border tensions, the Armenian government has proposed the establishment of a joint Armenia-Azerbaijan mechanism to investigate ceasefire violations. Sigh. Right? If this were just an isolated incident, that happened that doesn't normally happen, it's like, what's shocking? Oh my gosh, guns were fired, bullets were fired in the air. Then this joint investigation, I mean, that would mean something. It's like, whoa, these 2 governments and some, rebel actors, some independent actors acting upon their own volition outside of the will of the government. But this is 100 years of this, 100 years, or specifically 30 years since the falling of the Soviet Union, etc. All right. So, however, Azerbaijan has not yet responded, right? Oh, yeah. Getting Azerbaijan to sign on to an investigative. Sorry. I'll cease my commentary. I'll read the rest of this and then I'll comment. However, Azerbaijan has not yet responded to this initiative. The Armenian Minister of Defense reiterated its readiness to examine Azerbaijan's allegations of evidence if evidence is provided, but also urged Baku, that's the capital of Azerbaijan, urged Baku to investigate and publicly explain the attack on Natsak. So, I mean, I get what they're saying. The Armenians are. I said I would hold my comments, make this comment. Obviously, I get you're saying the right thing, and you're putting them on the defensive, right? You have to put, it's like, hey, let's do a joint investigation. Provide us the evidence of your claims, and we'll, right? Come up with something to support your nonsense. While in Brazil for an official visit, Armenian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ani Badalyan addressed Azerbaijan's accusations, stating that Armenia has no interest in violating the ceasefire. She emphasized that Armenia is actively has actively sought mechanisms to ensure border stability, including proposals for ceasefire monitoring and arms control agreements with Azerbaijan. The first priority is the peace treaty, Badalian said in an interview with Brazil's Radio Senado. She discussed Armenia's efforts over the past 3 years to negotiate a peace agreement and reaffirmed that the text of the treaty has been finalized. However, despite Armenia's willingness to sign, Azerbaijan has yet to agree on the timing and venue for the formal signing ceremony. In his turn, Armenia's Deputy Minister of Defense, Arman Sargsyan, responded to the recent escalation by assuring the public that Armenia has nothing to hide. Last week, the Armenian report that this periodical that this article is coming from. Last week, the Armenian report traveled to Syunik province and spoke with the residents of Artsakh. They described in great detail the relentless gunfire they hear every night from Azerbaijani military bases. Bullets rain on homes in Syunik village as Azerbaijani troops continue nightly. Tensions between Armenia and Azerbaijan remain high, with Azerbaijan continuing to increase military pressure along the border. The failure to finalize a peace agreement has only added to the uncertainty, raising concerns about further incidents in the region. As the situation develops, Armenia remains committed to diplomatic solutions while urging Azerbaijan to engage in transparent investigations and peace negotiations. And this Armenian report, I actually have been introduced to the young woman who's the editor. This is her magazine. And I was introduced to her at the Armenian Film Society this past September. She's friends with a friend of mine, and I think she did know about my event on March 15th. So imagine living in a border town, hearing gunfire every night. Right? Gunfire every night. You can't, no nightlife in that Armenian village. There is no nightlife in that Armenian village. Yes, you can laugh. That is sad but funny. Funny but sad. What am I doing? Stop. All right. I'm grateful for technology and for this team that's building. I'm grateful that you guys care and you guys are praying, and that more and more people are going to be paying attention to this, and these kinds of things will spark some action. Okay, on that note, it's a good transition. It's a good transition. Let me just start with, sorry, hold on, I forgot. I've got ads popping up that I'm trying to get rid of here. All right, let me answer some of these questions or read some of this before I do some updating. Imagine having to live every day not knowing if an attack is coming your way without warning. So many are living like that in small countries around the world. Yeah. It's let me just comment on this. When we see the pictures that come back from genocides, and it's horrific, but it's also numbing, right? When you see bodies, strewn out along the road, or the roadside bodies. And the thing that is striking me more and more of late, when you see those bodies, whether they're black bodies in Africa or they're brown bodies somewhere, or white body, right? Genocide happens. When it happens and you see those pictures, what I'm drawn to, what my eye is drawn to, is the clothes the people are wearing. So I saw a picture recently of somewhere, and with the black skin, so somewhere in Africa, but they're wearing like brand new, like polo shirt and nice clothes. So this is, we being removed think, oh, these are third world nations and these are people living primitively and they're dying. It's horrible. No, these are people living modern lives that go to stores and watch movies and have cell phones and wear nice clothes or wear new clothes and try and look nice for their friends and hang out, real people whose entire worlds are suddenly overwhelmed by a barbaric force. In an instant, right? So I try to convey to people sometimes when I'm speaking, I live in a town of 25,000 people, but it's LA. So it's a tiny town in the middle of a bunch of other tiny towns next to some bigger towns or whatever. But that's what the magnitude of what Hitler did and what Talat did is this entire town would be swept through by a violent mob going door to door, smashing and burning and butchering and you name it. Right? It's the peace-loving, civilized people who are taken utterly by surprise and shock, and their whole world's devastating. That's what I'm talking about. Can you imagine your neighborhood being completely devastated by a brutal mob? No matter how remote you live, no matter where you are. That's what was happening, and that's what is happening. All right. Carrie has a question. Michael, is Azerbaijan's capital in landlocked territory behind Armenia? If so, do you know why? It looks like that on a map. Azerbaijan's capital is Baku, which is on the Caspian Sea. Armenia is landlocked. Azerbaijan is not. Armenia is landlocked in between. To the north, it's Georgia. To the east, it's Azerbaijan. To the west, it's Turkey. And to the south, it's Iran. Okay. All right. Let me do some updating. I go into Doug Wilson's office yesterday. I did tell you yesterday about him giving me a book, the one book. If I could read one book from your father, which one would it be? And he gives it to me, signs it. But earlier in that meeting, I don't know if I told you guys this yesterday or not. Earlier in the meeting, I was updating him on the progress of the Soghomon Tolerian project. And Doug had introduced me to a hedge fund friend of his a year ago, a little over a year ago. And I had reached out, but we weren't ready. I didn't have the documents for them to sign. I didn't have it all. It was not ready, but he was willing. He was willing and able to connect me to a Christian hedge fund, which I don't want the Armenians to own the whole thing. I want the Armenians to only own half of what I'm working on. I want non-Armenians to own the other half. So that's what I said to Doug. I said, we're about to do this round of investing, the dollar amount. And and Doug says, all right, when it's ready, send it to me. I'll reintroduce you to the guy. So that was really my whole purpose of going to Idaho this last weekend, was just to connect with Doug, give him an update, and make that happen. Right? There's money out there that's interested in targeting the Turkish government, not with bullets, but with information warfare. What's our information warfare? They have to lie. We get the truth. It's harder to keep lies going than it is to keep truth going. So that's what, the Soghomon Tolerian story, along with being the launch of a major media event production, cultural bombshell kind of story. It's not just that, it's warfare, overt warfare. It's not even a secret. It's because warfare is communication, right? Communications is essential to warfare. You're not going to win a war if you're not communicating. If you're communicating well, you're going to win the war. And communicating the truth, this is something that's going to undermine every argument that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. It's going to undermine Turkey's lies, Azerbaijan's lies. So we're going straight into the fracas, into the fray, and there are Christian investors that are interested, right? There are Christians, and I'm like, okay, good. It's literally an incentive for certain types of investors. So that's what we've been preparing for. Doug Wilson is the one that pointed that out to me. And so this last weekend was just amazing, like homecoming. It's, even though it's my only my third time visiting there physically, my friendship circles get broader and broader. Doug has two younger brothers, and I met them both. I'm already friends with one of them, but I met the other one on this trip. Amazing. I won't go into detail, but just amazing experience. Something else Doug said, right? So he said, yes, when you're ready, I'll connect you. And we had some good dialogue about some things. And then one of the things he said, and I recorded this, so I need to watch it back. And I didn't press him on it. And, I knew I had a fixed amount of time with him, so I didn't want to eat too much of that time up with idle chit chat. But what he said, I was surprised by it and very, very encouraged by it. He said, the thing you're working on, this Armenia genocide and the conflict over there. He said the timing right now is even better than last year when we talked about this. He didn't go into details, but Doug is a guy that's in a position to be in the know. But when he said that, it was like, okay, the Lord inspired him to say that. And when he said that, it was just further confirmation. It was like, for him to say that, to make a point of saying that, it was like, oh, okay. So this thing is going to blast off and be kind of epic. And man, my anonymity is going to evaporate and vanish very quickly. And that is, a concern of mine, that this has to happen a certain way. I have to go on a trip and take cameras with me before I completely lose my anonymity. That's really one of my, it's not that I'm worried about it or concerned, or, it's like, it's not that, hey, if I take a bullet to the head or any other part of the body, so be it. I even said this yesterday to a classroom full of teachers. Yes, I was teaching a classroom full of teachers yesterday. Boy, I haven't told you guys anything. I'm just wasting all the time. I've got so much to fill you in on. But I said to a classroom full of teachers yesterday, saying, if I die today, this thing is still going to happen. It's at a stage that my team and enough people are aware of it, are interested in, and understand it, that it's still going to happen. I'm confident of that. There's nothing that can stop it now. And even a bullet to me would actually probably accelerate it, because it would be counterproductive for an Azerbaijani to try and take me out, because if they took me out, it would only highlight the issue, not remove it. Right. So that's the point I'm making. All right. So Doug says that amazing thing. So I'm like, okay. All right. It's good timing. God's timing. Yes, Gary. So I'll try and, over the weekend, I met with a guy who runs a publishing company that's interested in helping me develop the curriculum. And it's not Canon Press. There's another one in town, and I'm kind of actually glad it's not Canon Press. I want Canon Press to be involved with things, but there's more godly Christian people doing similar things independently, and we need them all to be involved. So this guy, I think, is going to be the guy, maybe the non-Armenian side to help me develop the curriculum and get it distributed. He has both a publishing company and has founded an online, I don't know, I think it's a homeschool network distribution of curriculum. So met with that guy. For me, it's like, yeah, I need these important people to help this. And then I also met with two guys that started a digital kind of film production and distribution company. And some of the ideas they have, the platform they're building is some infrastructure that I've been thinking about. In fact, somebody, I don't know if it's somebody that knew them or somebody independently was just looking and searching, sent me a link to their website, and then I, showed up at a cigar shop in Moscow, Idaho, and they were just launching the grand opening weekend. And turns out the guy running the cigar shop is also the guy that founded that. And he's like, I gotta bring my business partner over here so you can meet him. They're very interested in this School on Fire project that I'm doing. And this is going to surprise and excite you guys. They have been praying for some open door to tell the story. Drum roll, please. Let me just set this up. They were saying that I was an answer to prayer by walking in that cigar shop because they want to do a docuseries about the Arizona audit, Maricopa audit. This one guy is from Phoenix and moved to Idaho. He was there, boots on the ground for the whole thing. The cyber ninjas and Karen Fan and even Carrie Lake and like they're like, we can get to Mike Lindell. We want to have him involved, and we blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I was there in the recount. They let me in the room to film the recount. I was in the hearings. I have footage of Karen Fan. I'm a primary source in the Sweet Home Maricopa. So I have a meeting tomorrow. Yes, I knew you guys would be excited. This was amazing. I was just telling them, oh yeah, I'm the guy. And they're also close friends with Doug TenNapel. I took a picture and sent it to Doug. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, I've got all the source material you need. So I'm having a meeting, a Zoom call with them tomorrow, putting a budget together. I'm going to put all this footage. Yeah. So that, I'm telling you, this weekend was crazy, right? For me, I started Sweet Home Maricopa, obviously, for that reason, but it was also because I'm working on an Armenian genocide project, and I knew an audience would build that would be interested in both, right? So these instincts of mine, I got to start a YouTube channel about this, and then you guys are all here because of it. So it's going to happen. We're going to have a docu-series about the Arizona investigation with Hugh will be there and Doug will be there, and you'll see Liz Harris again and all this footage that we're all familiar with. And Mike Lindell will possibly be a part of this thing because he needs to be, because he's the one that financed Carrie Lake's defense, et cetera, et cetera. And he was in the mix the whole time. So we're the dark ages, right? Well. So my working title, which I pitched to one of them, we'll see what it'll be called. Yeah, Poetic Justice, absolutely. So my working title was Sweet Home Maricopa, an unfinished audit. The audit never happened. It was ordered by a judge and it never happened. It was never completed. And this will be the completion of it. So, and that's just this. There's all kinds of other crazy good stuff that happened on this trip. And that's just an example for you guys of what I'm experiencing. I'm an answer to prayer to them. Are you kidding me? Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, I willingly go. So that meeting's happening tomorrow. And then fast forward to yesterday. Yep, Liz Harris is on it. The domino, right? The first domino. She had that graphic, etc. The first domino to fall. Can't wait to talk to Liz again because she's just, anyway. So 1 minute left. What happened yesterday is I had a meeting with a young USC film student. He's a sophomore there, but he's also done a concert documentary of Beck, the band Beck, the artist Beck. So if you, Rafi Avedisian, you can probably find it on YouTube. Beck, Rafi, Raffi Avedisian. Right? God knows. We just obey and follow. So after meeting with him, that was an amazing. And then I went to the school I was telling you about. Now listen to this. This is a private school, 900 students, 450 student waiting list. They have an annual event at the end of April. And yesterday was April 1st. They made me the keynote speaker. They made me the keynote speaker of their event. It's going to be 400 students there. It's 3 schools. Their school, their whole high school, and then the junior classes from these other 2 schools every year come to this thing. And I like that and the keynote speaker. So your prayers being answered, people. Your prayers being answered. On that note, I got a lot of work to do. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.